Alright, welcome back to Hard Rock Guitar for Newbies. I'm Alex, and I'm super stoked that you're here today. So in this little lesson, we're going to be going over octaves. Octaves? Octaves. Some people might call them octave chords, but they're not really chords because they're simply two of the same note being played 12 half steps apart. Now, to give you a quick refresher, a half step is represented by one fret on the fretboard. So for example, a C here, this is the same note as a C here, but just played one octave apart. So there are 12 half steps in between them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 right there. So this note and this note, that's an octave. So we're going to put this into a shape, or actually a few different shapes on the fretboard. So let's walk through the two most commonly used shapes for octaves in drop C tuning. The first one is going to start off with our root note being on the bottom string. So in this case, the 6th string, which is tuned to C because, again, we're in drop C tuning, right? So to start off with, let's go ahead and pick out a note. So we're going to play on the 4th fret of the 6th string. So to find our octave in drop C tuning, it's really easy. All we're going to do is play on the same fret 2 strings higher. So since we're starting on the 6th string, 2 strings higher will be the 4th string and the same fret. So 4th fret of the 4th string. Right there. Think of it kind of like a drop C power chord without the middle string getting involved. And that's what it's going to sound like. Now, of course, you can move this shape all across the fretboard as long as you're staying on those 2 strings. You can play it here, 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 wherever you want. So like I said, pretty easy. Same fret, 2 strings apart from each other. To play an octave shape with your root note being on the 5th string, we're going to play the root note. Let's just pick out the 5th fret here of the 5th string. And then we're going to skip a string, kind of like we did with the first one. And then we're going to go up 2 frets. So if we're playing the 5th fret of the 5th string, we're going to play the 7th fret of the 4th string. And there's your octave shape. And just like the one on the 6th string, it can be moved all over the fretboard as long as you're staying on those 2 strings. Now, what are octaves used for? They're most commonly used for accent part or sometimes call and response type things between riffs. So for example, one of the riffs in my band song Stay has a call and response where you start off with a low like that, but then there's an octave part that alternates back and forth. It goes kind of like this. So instead of just going, it adds a little something in there to keep the momentum going. Also, there are a lot of really cool songs that have octaves as main parts of the overall composition. I think of songs like Tender Surrender by Steve Vai. Or Villanova Junction by Jimi Hendrix. Or the verse lines in I'm Broken by Pantera. So you'll find a lot of creative ways to use octaves. They're also really great to use when composing lead lines or harmonies or solos. So it's been really cool hanging out this afternoon. Keep practicing, stay awesome, and I'll see you in the next one.